This lecture will examine the tissue level of organization in the human body. This lecture segment, part 3 of 3, will cover the topics of tissue membranes, as well as discuss muscle and neural tissue. Tissue membranes line or cover parts of the body and serve as physical barriers. There are 4 types of tissue membranes: mucous membranes, serous membranes, cutaneous membranes, and synovial membranes. Mucous membranes are also known as mucosae. Mucous membranes line areas that are exposed to the external environment, such as the digestive, respiratory, and reproductive tracts. The epithelial surface is kept moist, which helps reduce friction and facilitates absorption and excretion. The lamina propria refers to the areolar tissue of the membrane. Looking at the diagram, the layers of the mucous membrane can be seen. Note the mucous secretions, epithelium, and lamina propria. Serous membranes line the ventral cavity of the body, and the membrane consists of simple epithelium supported by areolar tissue. Serous membranes include the pleura, peritoneum, and pericardium, and have been previously discussed. The cutaneous membrane is also known as the skin and is composed of stratified squamous epithelium and is supported by dense irregular connective tissue. The synovial membranes are membranes that line joint cavities. The layer of epithelium supported by the areolar tissue is incomplete, and these membranes produce the synovial fluid that lubricates the joint. Muscle tissue is a specialized type of tissue designed for contraction. There are 3 types of muscle tissues: skeletal, cardiac, and smooth muscle tissue. Skeletal muscle tissue contains long cells with multiple nuclei and striations present. These cells are also called muscle fibers and are under voluntary control. The striations seen in skeletal muscles arise from the arrangement of actin and myosin fibers, critical components of muscular contraction. The functions of skeletal muscle tissue includes stabilizing the position of the skeleton, guarding entrances and exits to the body, creating heat, and providing protection. So here with skeletal muscle tissues, we can see some of its main characteristics. We can see it's multinucleated. We can see a muscle fiber or muscle cell and the various striations, what give it these stripes between the darker color and the lighter color are those myosin and actin fibers that are lining up to give that appearance. The cardiac muscle tissue is found in the heart. Like skeletal muscles, actin and myosin contribute to the appearance of these striations. Cardiac muscle cells are smaller than skeletal muscle cells, and they also only contain a single nucleus per cell. They branch and connect with one another at what are called intercalated discs, and these are under involuntary control. The function of cardiac muscle is to circulate blood and maintain blood pressure through its contractions. Here on our tissue sample slide, we see our cardiac muscle tissue found in the heart again. We see that it is singularly nucleated. We can see the intercalated discs are these areas here that are darker. You can see one here. Here's an intercalated disc. We can see that branching occurs throughout this, and we also see the same striations, those stripes, as we saw with the skeletal muscles, again from those actin and myosin fibers. Smooth muscle tissue is our 3rd type of muscle tissue, and it consists of small, skinny, non-striated cells with singly centrally located nuclei. Smooth muscle is under involuntary control and is found in the walls of blood vessels, in the organs, in the digestive, urinary, and reproductive systems also have some smooth muscles. So here you can see there's thin shaped cells with a single nucleus. We can kind of see that spindly shape that these muscle fibers take on there. Again, they're under involuntary control. The neural tissue, nervous or nerve tissue, is a specialized tissue capable of conducting electrical impulses. These electrical impulses allow us to go ahead and communicate information. These tissues can sense stimuli, process information, and control the response to that information. Nerve cells include neurons and neuroglia. Neuroglia are the cells that are going to support those neurons. Let's take a look at a neuron. A neuron consists of several main components as seen in this diagram. Dendrites are these tree-looking branches that you see here. These are the dendrites of a neuron. The cell body is this region here. You can see the large central nucleus of that cell body of that neuron. And then the third component is going to be the axon. Okay, so we see that axon is long. Sometimes they can be a few centimeters long. Okay, and that extends from that cell body there. Dendrites are the branches that receive the information. The cell body has that large nucleus, and then again that axon is going to be what carries the information to additional cells. Neural tissue itself will be covered in more detail when we discuss the nervous system. Let's review with a checkpoint. Can you identify the 3 types of muscle tissues found in the body? Feel free to pause the lecture while you formulate your response. The 3 types of muscle tissues found in the body are skeletal muscle tissue, cardiac muscle tissue, and smooth muscle tissue. A tissue contains irregular shaped cells with many projections, including some that are several centimeters long. These are probably which type of cell? They are probably neurons.